Evil Dead panel. So obviously we're getting pretty full in here. If you could all do me a quick favor, we're all paying attention. If you have an open seat next to you, give me a big raise of the hand. Oh, there's like 3 people. Okay, great. So guys, orange shirts, please note those 3 open seats, and we'll try to fill those. For our friends that are actually still in the queue hall, we're doing our very best to get as many people in as possible, but do want you to know that if you are waiting for the Walking Dead panel, AMC has been kind enough that they're going to allow us to show the full footage in the queue room. So a little bit of a bonus for those who inevitably may not get in, so thanks, AMC. So as I've been saying, this is another one of those panels that's going to have some really cool footage, so please no videotaping or photography of any of the footage. Very, very important that we stick with those rules. So without further ado, I want to get this kicked off. I'm going to bring up Dalton Ross from Entertainment Weekly. Let's give Dalton a warm welcome.
Hey, what's up, guys? You having a good day? Yeah, me too. It's awesome so far, right? Got a question before we get started here. Anybody out there like horror? Yeah? Me too. Well, if you like horror or thirst or blood or proms gone horribly, horribly wrong, and haven't we all been to a prom that's gone horribly, horribly wrong? More blood, telekinesis, redheads, if you like redheads. Yeah. Or more blood, then you're in the right place. This is the place to be, all right? So welcome to the Carrie panel. We're going to have the director, the producer, and the 2 stars out here, and you guys are going to have a chance to ask them questions, so start thinking now. We'll get you up to the mics so you can talk to them yourselves. But before that, we got another treat for you guys. You all are going to be the first people in the world to check out a brand new, never-before-seen teaser trailer for the film. Does that sound good? Yeah, you guys want to check that out? All right, let's roll it. Wow. Is it just me, or does she look a tad upset? Just a mite miff, that one right there. All right, let's bring them out right now. Playing Carrie White, put your hands together for Chloe Grace Moretz is here. Right here, right here. She plays Margaret White, and she is Julianne Moore. Wow. Like that. Next up, we have the director of Carrie, Kimberly Peirce. And the producer of Carrie, Kevin Misher. Put your hands together for Kevin. He's coming out over there. All right, so to get comfortable here, guys. Kimberly, I'm going to start with you. Obviously, with Carrie, you have the original source material, which is the book by Stephen King. And then you have the 1976 film, of course, which is equal. I'm guessing what to take sort of more or less from in terms of, the book and the first movie.
Well, I do want to do a little shout out to Brian, because I think he set, a lot in motion by making a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
So, I'm friends with him, and I'm a huge fan of his movie. But I didn't take anything from his movie. Really, for me, it was reading Stephen King's absolutely fantastic novel, falling madly in love with his depiction of Carrie, and just thinking, my God, this is such a fantastic, story. I need to bring this to life, and I need to bring it to life, in a modern way, as it would be done now, just because it's so much fun and it's so great. So that was always what I went back to, and then, we were so lucky to have this wonderful cast, Chloe and Julianne, and, they always took us right back to the book. I mean, that was the greatest thing, too, is like they shared this love for King's material, and, we not only got to go back to the novel, but have them inhabit it in a way that was just so fantastic.
You mentioned the book and the movie, and we talk about, there are differences in the book and the first movie, some big differences. And I know in the book, obviously the destruction is more widespread than just the prom in the town. And so as eagle eyes in the audience that were watching that teaser, we saw a lot of fires throughout the town. So Kevin, what do you want to say about that? What we saw there?
Well, as Kim said, the book is an extraordinary resource, and in many ways, whenever there was a question, we went back to the book. So using the book as the resource, the destruction of the book is quite a bit bigger than the movie. So we were able to utilize that, and obviously in today's day and age, you have an opportunity to do things that you couldn't do back in the day technologically, and we were able to do it. But I think it all comes from character at the end of the day. It's not just we didn't want to do things because we could. Kim had fun with the telekinesis because you can in different ways, but it was all wrought by the character that Chloe was playing, and that was very important.
Yeah, Chloe, tell me about that bloodbath, or I guess blood shower, if you will. That seems like the kind of scene when you're shooting and you're covered in the red stuff, like this is like the gnarliest and yet most awesome thing ever. What was that like?
It was probably the most fun for about the first 2 weeks of it, and then after that it just got like sticky and wet, and it was like 40 degrees outside, and it was freezing, but it was amazing because each day in the blood, it became something else, and every day, there's a lot of different things where we refer to as, like, we have the wet blood, and the fire blood, and the dry blood, and, like, all the different type bloods, and we had to have a big collection of, like, because you don't shoot chronologically, you have to kind of map out what you're doing, and it was amazing, because each day, throughout the character, the blood became part of who you are, and I just got used to going home every night covered in blood, and the people at the front desk were always like, wow, she must have a really hard day at work, like, geez.
Julianne, I was going to ask you to compare this role to playing Sarah Palin, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to hold back on that, resist that urge. But I do want to know about playing Margaret, because this is a woman who does, horrific things to her daughter, but she thinks she's doing the right thing. So how do you sort of play this character and bring some humanity to it? I mean, is she a woman to be feared, or is she a woman to be feared and maybe, I don't know, pitied maybe a little bit?
Well, once again, when we went back to the book to look for all of that, and for me, the character of Margaret was really rooted in social isolation. She's somebody who kind of moved away from her family and joined a religious sect, and when that wasn't strict enough, formed her own religious sect with her husband. Then he died. She thought when she was pregnant that the child was a cancer, and then delivered the baby alone. So all that backstory is in the novel, and I thought, okay, so that means her only family, her only community is this child, is Carrie. So it really is about her trying to keep that as intact as possible. So the minute Carrie starts moving away from her, she senses real danger and then wants to, parent her. So it does come out of a sense of love and family to keep her there, but it's nonetheless abusive.
The thing that's so creepy about this story is not just the blood and the violence, although I'd like to say more, please, more of all of that, but it's the relationship between the mother and the daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it was. So if that falls flat, the whole story's not going to work. So what did you two do to really, hone that on-screen relationship?
We tried to have some fun.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
A little. Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, like, Julianne is, like, one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. And for a character like this where we would have to go from, like, laughing and making jokes about stupid stuff and then she'd have to be stabbing me. So it was this really kind of funny relationship we kind of had, and you know, we're cool.
We wanted to be, I mean, I wanted it to be safe and comfortable and fun. I wanted to have a good time together because I feel like the more connected you are as people, the further you can go as actors. I felt like as long as Chloe felt safe with me, she would feel safe. We feel safe doing this stunts together.
She shouldn't feel safe with you. Look at this film. You crazy?
But you know, we were able to push it pretty far, I think, certainly in the stunts and stuff, and that was fun.
That was very fun.
Yeah.
Kimberly, you mentioned being friends with Brian De Palma, who did the original. Did you talk to him at all as you're going through this process at all of making this film?
I talked to him at the beginning, and then, you know, he was off doing his movie, and I was doing this. And it was just great to be able to talk to somebody who loved the material as much as I did, you know, and many years ago did such a great job with it. But he was just really supportive, and, you know, he's a great director.
So Kevin, no split screen in this version? We know he had those famous split screen shots in his.
I don't know. You have to talk to the director for that. Yeah.
It's yet to be seen.
All right, yet to be seen. And just continuing with that, Julianne and Chloe, I'd love to hear from both of you because obviously Sissy Spacek and Piper Laurie gave such iconic performances in the original. So what do you do in this situation? Do you almost have to purge those from your mind, you know, to attack this role and make it your own?
I think, you know, I think that neither one of us, I mean, they were both so tremendous in the film. One of the things that was exciting about working with Chloe is that she's an actual adolescent. I mean, you know, Sissy, who was so wonderful, was 26 at the time when she made the original Carrie. And so here's somebody who's actually a teenager. And that, for me, I think was lucky to have someone who was kind of in that, you know, in that stage of her life.
Yeah, and, you know, it's interesting because everyone always asks, you know, well, are you going to live up to Sissy's character? Are you going to live up to the original movie? You know, and you just kind of think about, like, well, I don't really, you know, I don't know. Will I live up to the original movie? But you have to be completely secure in what you're doing and what you're putting on screen, because I just got to think about it like any other movie. You know, it's just a movie and a script you love, and it's a character you love and that you really want to go into. And so you do the same thing that you do in any other film because that's just your process, you know. And you don't have to think about, oh, well, God, you know, well, this scene is not going to be as good as that scene, or that scene's going to be not as good as that scene. You just got to be completely confident in what you're doing, because otherwise you'll tear yourself apart, and you just have to be secure.
You know, I think the other thing to think about is I think that there's lots of room out there, like in terms of bandwidth of ideas. So let's say that they did a brilliant movie, and let's say those performances are fantastic. Yeah. And it doesn't have to take anything away for this to be completely modern, two new people. And, you know, there was, you know, like Kevin was saying, there was a number of things that we are able to do now that for a lot of reasons weren't done then. So they really can exist as two separate, equal, incredibly great things. That's what I like to think. And ours is just naturally its own thing. And it's been really one of the most rewarding, fun, crazy experiences. But I can say the mother-daughter and the, you know, relationship in our movie, it's profound. And it really is the heart and soul of our entire story. And there's a ton of fun, right? Because they're titans who are at war with each other.
Oh, listen to that. Oh. It's not going to be that way in the movie, people.
No.
Enjoy it while you can.
It's all about love.
Well, that's love. But I'll let you in on a secret that it's a hell of a lot different in the movie than that.
Well, I mean, is there ever a moment for any of you as a producer or director, stars, like when you're making a movie like this, sometimes, like, the debates you have, you realize they're so absurd. Like, no, he can't be impaled this way. It has to be this way. Or, no, that's not enough blood. Were there moments you're like, what am I doing?
Well, the biggest thing is how much blood. So I can tell you there were probably R&D for about 3 or 4 months. There was, like, 50 blood dumps. And it was, is it 3, 4, or 5 gallons, right? Is it thin, thick, not thin at all? Do we dump it from here? Do we dump it from there? I can tell you guys, and you don't have to try this at home, most of the times you're going to miss. You're not going to hit the person you're aiming for, or you're going to hit their shoulder, or you're going to hit their wig. So, and then the thing was, is it going to hit her on the day?
And also, no pigs were harmed in the making of this movie. No actual pigs, anyway.
Right, well, not that I know. But anyway, so you are always wondering, God, how big should that blade be? How big is too big, right? How big is scary and how big is funny? Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Because, you know, in a horror movie, particularly like this, that actually is a horror movie, is dark, but also is funny. There are really dark, morbid, moments in it. These are big questions. Like, first of all, how much blood is too much blood? So every single time I would see her, I would realize, okay, we went too conservative. And I was always saying, will you put on more blood?
She literally, I showed up one day and I was covered in blood. Like nothing was clear. And she goes, yeah, we need more blood. And I went, but there's no inch on me to cover in blood.
More blood. And with the dress. And also, like she said, become an expert on, what that texture looks like. And is it scary?
I think one of the things to note is it's an R-rated movie, which I know you guys will all be excited about. So you could depict the work of the book accurately. You didn't have to pull your punches, and I think that's one of the exciting things about what these guys have done.
I promised I was going to open this up to questions. I am a man of my word. So if you guys want to talk to the people up here, now is your chance. And I already see lines forming. We've got mics over here. We got mic in the center. And we got a mic over there. And we're going to start moving this way to that way. So line up now. We'll get in as many as we can. We'll start with Kick-Ass over there if he can get his hood off. I have a feeling this one might be for Chloe. That's just a guess, but
I think what gives you that idea? Yeah, this one is for Chloe. See? Trip buff. Just really excited for that, but I have a question for Chloe, and just a little lead up to the question. Me and Hit Girl here, we're actually on the cover of Kick-Ass 2, the comic book. Like, our costumes are on the cover of that. And last week, I got a call, and I'm actually going to be in Kick-Ass 2.
Oh, you got the role.
Right, that's great.
Good job.
Yeah. Thank you. I almost didn't make it to this because I have to fly out on Monday to, I won't say where the set is, but to the set.
Now you're bragging. Now you're just bragging.
I know.
Okay.
Boo-hoo.
It went from endearing to annoying really quick.
So my question is just, I was really bummed that the autograph session got canceled, and I would have said all that in an autograph session, not wasted time here. But is there any way we could meet up real quick after this and just talk real quick?
I don't know.
Oh man.
Whoa. Be nice. I might see you in London.
Okay, perfect.
We can have our moment there.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay.
I think you might have to, and you might have to contend with her mother.
That's right.
Yeah, you have to with the mom.
Yeah.
Match made in heaven. All right, yes. It's right in the center here. You need to use the mic.
This is for Miss Carrie. That despite everything, my favorite film of yours was Hannibal. You were, I really, really loved you in that.
Thank you.
That's why I'm here.
Thank you so much.
All right, just a comment, no question. That'll work.
That was
Big
great.
fan right there.
Thank you.
All right, we're going over to the right over here. Yes, sir.
Hi. Hello. Hi, my name is Paul. This question is for Chloe. I'm a big fan since Kick-Ass and you being Hit Girl. My question is, how has your previous experience prepared you for this role you're taking in Carrie, and what were the new things you've learned as an actress being Carrie?
It's interesting talking to Kim around the end of the movie, and we were talking about the transformation that's happened from the moment that I auditioned for this role to the moment of the end of this movie, because there's a moment during filming where because in the beginning during the audition process, she was like, okay, well, let's see if she can be older, because I'm only 15 playing and then in the middle of the movie, Kim looked at me and she said, I need you to be younger. And I went, but the whole problem was that I wasn't old enough. I was like, what do you mean? And then,
Because she transformed.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was this huge learning experience for me, because I went from this actress who had never been given the chance to fully go there. And then I worked with people like Julie and Kim who allowed where now it's hard for me to look at another character and be like, oh my God, I want that back. I want that challenge. I want that everyday learning curve, and yeah, I mean, it's nothing can prepare you for that. It's just learning.
All right, thank you very much.
Did the subject matter give you any flashbacks to your time in Amityville Horror?
Oh my God, my first movie I ever did. It did actually. It did. Not quite as scary though.
On the left, yes.
Hi, my question is for Chloe. As audience members, we've seen you in a lot of edgy roles over the years, and I was just wondering if that's what you prefer to do, or if you'd rather be like a bubbly girl next door type of actress someday.
Well, honestly, my main thing is wanting to be someone I'm a happy girl, and I have a really good family, and my mom loves me, and I have a very supportive family and everything, and I have immense love from all my family, and I like playing characters that aren't me and that actually challenge me, because it's not as fun to just play yourself every day, because you already do. So, yeah, I guess a lot of my movies do fall into the darker genre, but that's just because I guess it's things that I am more gravitated to, and it's roles that I like doing more and that actually challenge me and make me happy, and that's pretty much, I don't exactly look for a genre and go, I want one. Yeah.
Kim, so glad that a female director is taking on a blockbuster. We need more of that.
Yeah, right. Good call, man.
Thank you.
Also, just curious, how did bullying as a modern social issue inform your adaptation of the book?
Well, like I said, I'm very character and story driven. So I fell in love with Carrie, right, who she was and what she was going through and all these relationships, and really wanted to bring that to life and saw the fun in that. The idea of bullying, certainly there is a wider awareness of bullying since there was in the time that, De Palma made his movie and in the time that Stephen King wrote his book. So, I certainly think that in some of the scenes there's an awareness by the teachers in the school, that these phenomena happen and they have to be more aware of it. I can't give away plot details, but we have a whole really fun, dangerous through line of something that one of the girls does with some social media that builds and builds and builds until it climaxes at the end. And that's just a representation of the modern world, of what people are going through. I think, perhaps what's been happening, in our culture only makes the story more relevant. But, you go to the movies to fall in love with a character and to be taken on a journey. So I think, hopefully, to be a good director is to be aware of all that stuff, but to let the audience, fall into the story.
Thank you.
Yeah, great question, man. Yes, right over here.
Hi, I was just curious exactly how involved Stephen King was with this production, if at all.
Yeah.
Stephen King, generally, as a rule, I think takes a hands-off process with the filmmakers and the people making the film in the day, but we plan on showing them the film. We're very excited. As I said, I think the thing that is special about this film is that Kim has harkened back to the book, as have Julianne and Chloe. So I think he'll be quite pleased and surprised.
Thank you.
All right, back over here.
Hello, this question is for anybody that's really up there.
All right.
That's everybody.
Do you have any tips for a young filmmaker who's trying to make a movie?
That's what filmmakers tend to do, yeah. Any,
my thing is just really, really find a character that you're absolutely wildly passionate about and a story that you absolutely love, and get as inside of it as you can, in addition to all your passion, know your craft. Because, I look at these two, I look at this guy and everybody. If you're going to do any good work, in our business, you have to have the great passion, but you have to know what you're doing. So
that was a great question, man, because if you don't know, ask, right? Great question.
And don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
Thank you.
Thanks, I just heard that.
Yes, right here, center out.
Hi, I was also wondering about the idea of bullying and how that informed your movie. And I guess for me, I always wonder about the balance between portraying the bullied as sort of perfect, or in a movie like this, and obviously I haven't seen yours, the bullied is somebody who goes off the deep end. And so how you kind of work with that. And I was also wondering if Julie had any favorite teachers that she might think about.
Hi, John.
Hi, Julie.
How are you? John is a teacher at my kids' school at Friends House.
That's good. That's funny.
I told you I'd come.
Do you know what? I don't know if any of you have read Stephen King's book on writing, but it's a wonderful book and really just talks about how he started writing and what he thinks about writing. And in it, he talks about the germination of the Carrie story. And he remembered two girls that he went to school with, and both were incredibly isolated, one by their parents' religious beliefs and the one by poverty. And he talked about the repercussions of that, how isolated they were in school, how it continued into their adult lives, and sadly, neither one of them lived very long. But he took this really kind of big, important idea about social marginalization and put it in Carrie as an entertainment. And so, as Kim was saying, we're not making a polemic here. We're making a movie, an entertaining movie, really about adolescence and power and growing up and mother-daughter relationships. But in it, we're reflecting something that does happen in society and happens in schools. And like you said, I think very accurately, John, these people are flawed. And that's really important. You're seeing a very flawed mother. You're seeing high school students who are confused and conflicted. You see a girl, Sue Snell, who tries to do better and oddly ends up making everything worse. But I think that one of the great things about Stephen King and about this story is that it allows us to participate in many different ways and sort of reflect on it rather than actually come up with an answer.
But you bring up a character. You don't want the person who's going to get, say, hurt in the beginning, Carrie, to be perfect and to be all innocent. I mean, she has to be complicated, so you're engaged. Right. But also, like Julianne said, it's like, well, the mother has her flaws, but also Sue Snell makes the wrong decision. And then Chris, the girl who's perpetrating it, you actually have to find the other side of her, which is where's her vulnerability, where's her innocence, and why does she keep doing it? Yeah. That was one of the biggest questions that we looked at from the beginning, and we're like, how does this girl who starts throwing tampons graduate, right, to killing a pig and dumping pig's blood? And the only way you can keep the character active is if she has a whole other side to her. So they all need to be dimensional. Yeah. And then you're pulled into the story, and that's more what life is like anyway,
Well, it's what we have to find with the kids in schools, right, too. You can't see a, quote, bully as somebody who's completely evil.
No, exactly.
No, and they might be, but that's pretty rare. But, right, you want to see... No, there are kids. There are people.
There's usually a reason for it.
Yeah, exactly. But you want to be, and also you want to go on the journey and see why it keeps escalating. Otherwise, the movie kind of stops.
Are you guys as freaked out as I am that we basically just had a parent-teacher conference at
That's right,
Comic-Con?
right here.
I mean, is that just me? Like,
you never know. Comic-Con.
Give her a good. All right. Right over here. Yes, sir.
Hi, this question is for Chloe. I saw in an interview that you made the dress for Carrie in the movie, and I wanted to know if you added certain details to the dress that actually reflect the character that you put in Chloe.
I made a dress.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near costume designers that actually constructed the dress.
Yeah. She can barely sew.
I can wear it. So.
Wait, didn't you make a bag?
Yeah, she made a tote bag.
I made a tote. I made a tote. Yeah.
A tote dress.
I'm not a seamstress.
The Carrie line coming.
No, I did make some dresses, though.
I hope you come back next year for Kick-Ass 2.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, right over here. What's up, man?
Nothing much. I had 3 questions.
Pushing your luck already. Look, they're already breaking. Look, they're taking you down right there.
Okay, one question. For everyone specifically, about how much blood do you think, how many liters of blood do you think you used during production?
He wants an exact number.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not exact, though.
No, that's actually when you're trying to get a job, I think, at an investment firm, they ask you questions like that. My friends in Harvard have said that. Well, let's say if it was 5 gallons per bucket, we did at least 50 tests. That's 250. We were doing, and then we were bloodying you up. I'm going to go with 1,000 gallons.
Of fake blood.
Wouldn't you?
Let's call it 1,000 gallons.
1,000.
Okay.
You want more?
No, fine. Thanks, bye.
All right, thanks. All right, last question right here. Yes.
Hey guys, I was just wondering. You kind of talked about this already, but do you feel any pressure to recreate, like while recreating the script and the characters, like reimagining it, do you feel any pressure to stray away from the original story, or like how everyone's going to react to it?
I mean, I'll talk for myself. I didn't feel any pressure, I think, because I genuinely, only did the project because I fell so deeply in love with the story and just thought it was infectious, fun, terrifying, and great, and just thought I would do it in a way that, with, a great team that was really a blast. So I respect the original, but I didn't feel any pressure. I mean, I feel pressure just to live up to doing a good story, and that's always challenging. It's just in
Well,
general.
by the looks, it looks really good. I think it's going to create its own, part in the series,
Well, I remember when I was at the first read-through, and I'm going to give a shout-out to Ansel, our Tommy, who's out there. Where is he? Anyway, right there. So, and I saw Ansel and Chloe reading the scene at the scene at the prom, and Chloe's 15, Ansel's 18, and it was so exciting to see and so different, and it really kind of took me away. And I was a huge fan of the original movie, but I thought, wow, it's just great to see it reimagined too.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
It's an important thing to know is that, remember, the story is really about teenagers to some degree. So we talk a lot about the original movie, and there's a great nostalgic audience for it, but it's depicting the life and times of these kids who are experiencing it, and hopefully it'll be a metaphor for what kids are going through today. And I think that broadens the audience for everybody and makes it a richer experience that speaks to 2012, 2013, and isn't just a nostalgia trip. So you sort of have a little bit of everything in this movie.
Right. Well, guys, I want to thank you, but before we go, Chloe, I understand that there's some sort of special way for people to get in touch with the White family. I don't know why they'd want to do that, but I understand there's something going on here. What's that all about?
Yeah. There's a number that you guys can call, and it's to Carrie's house. And depending on at what time, you either get Julianne, Margaret, or Carrie. It's just do it. It's fun.
Yeah. See, the phone number's up on the screen.
Call
Write it down. Call it.
Do it.
If you dare.
Do it.
It's scary.
They double dare you.
It's spooky.
Okay.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to Chloe, Julianne, Kimberly, and Kevin. The Evil Dead's coming up in about 60 seconds. Thanks a lot, guys.